Yo, what's up? How's it going, guys? All you in Facebook land and Instagram land, I'm going to be making a beat live today, live streaming it here. And I'm just going to get you in a better position. Yeah, we're going to be making a beat live here on my Facebook page and YouTube channel. Going to be starting with a blank slate. Today I'm going to be, whoa, you may just see my cat jump by. So I'm going to be going for like a bit of a more upbeat trap style sound. I do a lot of trappy stuff, but this one's going to be a little bit more upbeat. My normal stuff's pretty dark. Going to be starting, yeah, obviously blank slate, as I said. And yeah, if you have any questions, write them in. I'll try and answer them as I go. But if not, I'll hit you a message later on and get your questions answered. So yeah, let's get started. First thing I want to do is get a bit of a bell sound happening. Actually, not like a bell, like more of like a orchestral percussion sound, like a marimba or something like that. So I'm going to just start having a look for one of those. I'm going to try. There's a couple of different synths I want to check out. First one is my Arturia CMI. This thing's got some really cool sounds. It's usually pretty pretty lo-fi sounding, like that's its whole vibe. So let's see what we can find in here. Whoa, that's not what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. What the hell? Okay, here we go. Kalimbaya. Hey, that's kind of cool. All right, I'm not digging the delay that they've got on this, but that's a really cool starting point. So I'm gonna check this out. Let's get rid of that delay. I'm gonna come up with some kind of cool chord pattern, so bear with me. It's a little bit dark there. That's kind of cool. a good starting point. I'm just going to make a loop of that. First, I'm going to find a tempo. Let's try that. Cool. Now, okay. Oh. Put a little bit of swing in there, give it a bit of vibe. One thing I'm not digging with this sound is it's a little bit too bright. I'm going to throw a SSL channel strip on it. I'm going to call this Kalimba. So we're going to put a bit of compression on there, some fast attack. Fast release. All right. Now, I know I took away some delay before, but I'm going to bring back a different type of delay. One that I like a bit better. This is the Waves H delay. I pretty much use it on everything that I need ping-ponged with the dotted 8. Some reverb. Nice and wide. This is both of these effects are here to really widen out the sound a little bit. Yo, hey, thanks, Cleanse. How's it going? Cheers for the kind words. So I'm still, even though I've taken out a lot of the high end, still feel like it could use a little bit more taken out. So I'm just going to pull down the high end a little bit, and yeah. Cool. That's a good starting sound. I'm kind of happy with how that's going. I'm going to now flesh it out with a bit of drums. I kind of know where I want to go with this. I'm going to start with a clap sound. That clap is the one I want. That's cool. Real simple. Nothing to write home about there. And now I'm gonna find a snare, accent snare. I like that. A little bit out of time there. Gonna get rid of the swing on this one. Ooh, yes, a little bit out there, and also jump up the velocity. So I kind of dig this sound, but it's a little bit dry. So I want to throw some lo-fi on it to kind of give it, I don't know, like get rid of some of that like overly hi-fi sound. So I'm just going to play around with Kilohertz Bit Crusher. See if I can get. So that's where we started. So that's kind of cool. Kicks wise, I know I'm going to throw some 808s in on this. So as far as the kick goes, I'm going to go with a bit of a knockier sound, like so much bass, my bass guitar almost fell over. God damn, a lot of kick drums here. It's not bad. It's a little bit. Nah. God. Jesus, I lost all my samples files. Here we are. So it's lots and lots of drum samples. I might even try a Sorry guys, I'm just having a play around and see what I like here. Drum samples here. Bass drums. And some in my room doing These are huge. A little bit too loud for me. It's kind of cool though. It's kind of cool. I can go with that. And that needs a bit of quantizing, but whoa. I've taken some of the low end out of this kick because I know I'm going to have a lot of low end in the 808s that I'm about to throw in. So I'm going to use that same kick pattern that we used for the obviously for the kick, and I'm going to put it onto the 808s as well, and find where they can sound cool. So this is in D major. So logic says if we put let me get rid of that last 808 of each pattern. I would just have that knocky kick sound. I don't think it needs it. Okay. So the second chord, the B major, they both chords have the F sharp in there, so seeing where that D lies. It's pretty high up. Kind of like that. I'm gonna keep that sound. I'll keep that rhythm, and I'm going to pick a bit more distorted 808 sound. So I'm going to drive it a bit and see how it sounds. I just brought it down a couple of BPM. It's a little bit quick. Actually, I'm going to take this. You know what? I might take that kick out of the kick pattern as well. Not sure if I have to. Yeah, not vibing on that last kick that I've got in the pattern there, so I'm gonna delete that as well. All right, now we need get some. That is where I want to be in terms of this hi-hat sound. I'm just going to draw this in because it's much easier than playing it. And that's the one. Much easier than playing it, and I don't think I'm going to give it justice if I try and play it in. So I'm just going to throw 8th notes all across there. I was just messing with the tone of that reverb a little bit more. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna put the hats slightly to the left. I got the snare slightly to the right. You can't hear that because you're all listening in mono, but trust me, that's where it's at. All right. Trying to think of where I want to go with this. I want another melodic instrument in there. So I feel like a piano would be kind of cool. That sounds shit. Not digging that sound, but we'll see if we can find something. That's cool. I like that. Alright. That last note was terrible. I'll never do it again, I promise. Cool. Digging the sound. I want to get rid of the dynamics because my playing is no good, and I would prefer it to just be, just a standard, straight vibe. Which that's what you do. Select all of them. Select one shot. Nope, that's not what you do. Let's save. I know I can do it this way, but I thought there would be a way within the instrument I'd be able to change that. So I'm going to pump all these up, and then I'm going to bring it down because there's multiple samples being used here. I don't want to go the hardest sample. I want it to kind of sound a little bit softer. Hey Adam, what's going on? My boy Admeezy is watching me. We actually made a beat together. Say hi if you can hear me, Adman. No, he's not saying anything. But we did a collab not too long ago, which is going to get released in, I think, like 2 days or something. Pretty cool. Anyway. Man, there's something up with this. There's something real whack going on with the volumes on this thing. I think it has something to do with all these different volumes that are getting punched out here. So. The only way to deal with that is to slam this with a compressor, distortion, limiter, clipper, whatever. This guy. Bad playing. It's that one there. Really weird. Anyway, I'm going to run these through a bit of processing. Has a delay on it right now. Actually, I don't mind that. So, hey Laurie, what's going on? Hope you're enjoying the beat. This one's a bit happier. Hope that you don't mind that. All right. So I got the kalimba. I got the marimba. Marimba's just a little bit too bright right now. I'm going to throw my classic filter on it, get rid of some of that high end. Only thing is, it's a little bit mono right now, so I'm going to put a bit of a stereo spreader on it, give it a bit of width, one I like to use is the Waves Doubler. This guy is pretty good. Just go all extreme settings. Sounds pretty good. One thing I like about that doubler is when you pump it into mono. So if you're ever listening on your phone or on any kind of mono source, a lot of doublers throw a sound out of phase with itself. So whenever you're listening to it in mono, it just sounds real whack. So I don't know what this one does to combat that, but if I go into, where is it? I used to have a setting for this. So if I go, so that's in mono. You guys can't hear that, but like the instrument still sounds good. It still sounds clear. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Cool. I'm happy where that's going. So from here, I'm going to take it to a bit of an arrangement. Going to start with just 2 bars of intro. Just on the piano there. I'll keep the marimba and the kalimba. I'll get rid of the click. We don't need that. Cool. Gonna put a bit of a riser in that intro. Yeah, that's what it needed. And I think I'm gonna get rid of the I'm gonna change the piano pattern a little bit. So bear with me. Gonna just get rid of the multiple rhythms because it kind of fights with that kalimba sound, especially when there's not much else going on. Sorry, the marimba sound. So just gonna color this guy something else and cut it down to half and throw that on the intro. So hopefully all right, now that I've got that kind of running by itself, I'm going to get rid of that doubler because I don't think what it does need is some reverb. So I'm going to throw Abbey Road Plate reverb on it. This thing sounds sick. All right. Now we're going to go into get rid of the snare accents on this. And drop out the 808 at the start. Shit. Damn it. I lost everything I wanted to do. Just gonna make that happen again. So to get the tuned snares, to get the 808s for the first half, and we're just gonna have that. I'm gonna go. There. Kind of breaks down a bit. That's a pretty short verse. It's only two. I guess it's 16 bars, which is pretty standard verse. I usually have my verses a bit longer, but I'm trying to shorten them up because it doesn't give much love for the rappers trying to rap on this stuff. Now I'm going to start working on the second verse. I'm going to go back to just that solid piano, which we had at the start of the first one, but I'm going to take out the snares altogether and change up the hi-hat pattern a little bit so that it's a bit more interesting. So gonna throw some 30-second note triplets in there. That. Cool. Dig that. So I'm just going to copy that across the board there. And then I'll put the tune snares back in the second half of that. Drop out the piano at the very end there. And drop out the snare and the kicks just to have those hi-hats finish off that. Then I'm going to come back in with the kicks and snares, cymbals, and whatnot. Let me get rid of those hats though. Throw the riser back in there. Third one, this can be another verse or a bridge or whatever it's going to be. Probably a verse. I'm going to have the simple piano there. With the snare, have the kicks come in. You might even have the subs come, the 808s come in as well in that spot. From this point, I'm going to go to having the more busy piano with everything kind of back in. And then bring the kalimba back in. Actually, I'll bring those trappier hats back in with the extra bits going. Take out the last bar. Or maybe the last half bar. That's a good outro right there. Finishes it off quite nicely. I'm going to try this even a couple more BPM. Down to 111. See how that sounds. Whoa, something happened there. Damn it. because I changed the tempo, my rises all got messed up. Which is no good. So I'm just going to reposition those. Choruses and go. Yo, Tim, what's up? Jesus. This is kind of cool. The only thing it's missing is a bit of a shaker sample. And normally I just go into my loop pack and find a shaker, but because I've done this fairly quickly and I'm almost done, I think I might make my own shaker out of something and record it because, you know, it's good fun. So bear with me. I'm going to get something to make a shaker. You can listen to my beat while we're going. Shouldn't take too long. All right, cool. Coffee beans. I drink a lot of coffee, so this is kind of appropriate. Got my microphone set up. Just gonna make a channel for it. This is fun. So going to mute it for now because I can't have the audio coming through. Doesn't really need to be on low latency mode because I'm not really going to notice it unless it fucks up. So this is going to be my shaker channel. Going in one. For some reason I don't have any volume. Okay. Record. There we go. All right. Cool. What I'm going to do is double that up and record it again. All right. Gonna have a listen to that, see how it's sounding. So the reason I did two is because I want this to be stereo. I'm going to hard pan them left and right. Yeah, makes it easy. How did I play? You can hear the instruments in the background because I got it running through my speakers, but that's cool. I don't really care that much about that. I'm going to throw these into a track stack. Most of what you're hearing coming through, funnily enough, is the low end, even though it's kind of right next to the speaker there. So I'm going to take out a whole bunch of low end, get rid of all that. Can't really hear the instruments that much. It's pretty cool. Now, because of latency reasons, my playing isn't 100% perfect. I could sit around and try and get it sounding 100%, or I could just hit the quantize button on here, and that's going to get it sounding pretty close. I wonder if there's a way I can get it 16th note quantized. Oh, I don't want it to be rhythmic flex tone. Yeah. So I've got that quite low in the mix. You don't really need to hear it that much. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. I'm just going to have that rocking on the choruses, just to add a little bit more flavor when they rock around. Yeah. One thing I did before, which I didn't really explain too much, is I put a bit of a high shelf cut on the claps, and I find, like you probably saw when I was doing the lo-fi on the snares as well, that was cutting out a whole lot of the highs as well. It's kind of weird because I come from a rock and roll heavy metal background, and when you're recording bands, you're always taking out low end from pretty much every instrument and adding a lot of high end because it gets really muddy on the lows, and everything always needs more highs. But in hip hop, I find myself ripping out highs way more than I'm ripping out lows. So like my marimba, the main marimba sound, I've taken out heaps of highs out of that. That melody kalimba sound, sorry, the piano kalimba sound, like the chords, taking massive amounts of high end out of that too. Snares, taking the highs out. Claps have taken the highs out. Even the shakers, like a lot of highs taken out of that as well. And if you look at the overall, this is my mix EQ. Still very heavy up in the highs. Actually, might even take some of the highs out of my kick drum. Yeah. Kick drum's already pretty low, but there's a bit too much high end in there. Even with the kalimba right now, there seems to be a lot of information around the mids here, around the 2.5K, 2 to 3K area. So I'm just going to put a 2.5K bell and just rip out some of that too. And the reason I do a lot of that is because this area around here, that 1 to 3K, even like 1 to 4K, or even up to 5 with modern music, that's where a lot of the rapping sits. Like that's where a lot of the vocal sound sits. If you have too much going on in that area, you find it very hard for a vocal to come through the mix there. So I try and keep that fairly simple. You see it pumps up when the snare comes through, but that's not too much. It's like every so often. Go back to the chorus here. Yeah. That's a pretty good shape. I've got a lot going on in the low end. The highs are nice and taken care of, but this middle bit here where the vocal sits is fairly spaced out, which that's, yeah, it's kind of cool. There's a little bit of tech stuff there for you. All right, so now I'm going to do a little bit of a master on it, just get the EQ, compression and clipping over the whole bus going, all right. Do some final levels, and I think that's going to be pretty close to done, so yeah, just bear with me.
All right, that's pretty close to done. So we're just gonna have a listen through, start to finish, see if there's anything else I want to change on it. But I think that's about it. So I'm gonna take my phone over and show you guys what's happening. Well, there you are. Just spins around so you can have a look. All right, so this is my computer. I'm going to play it start to finish and just show you kind of what's happening instrument-wise as we go. So. All right, that's it from me. I'm going to do a final
mix down to this on my headphones, just to get the little intricacies right. But you guys are not going to enjoy that because it's just going to be me listening on headphones and you ain't going to hear anything. So that's it. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any questions, hit me up. Yeah, catch you guys next time. Peace.